registration exercise. The misunderstanding occurred when the party agents decided to take the details of the constituents.
Supporters from both parties trooped the polling station to support their agents as the confusion erupted. Police officers at the scene struggled to control the crowd who threatened assault. The NDC parliamentary aspirant for the constituency, Dr. Zanato Rawlins, arrived at the scene to calm down the situation.
As part of the political leadership in this constituency, I believe it's my responsibility to make sure that no matter who it is or which side they belong to, we understand that the process has to happen in peace and harmony, otherwise it's a waste of time.
The supervising officer at the station attempted an explanation.
Party agents, they are collecting the ID cards from the applicants after registering and then writing, I don't know what they are doing, but they are not supposed to do it here.
Calm returned and registration resumed at the polling station.
Right, let's get some views from the political parties now. Martin J. Kosa is the Director of Elections of the MPP. He's joining us. Mr. Kosa, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I know the situation at Kinkawe is a bit of a worrying thing there. I want to hear from your party, the MPP, what you make of all of this and what you're doing as a party to ensure that this doesn't happen at other registration centers anymore.
Well, I think it's got to do with the issues of security and orderliness, and a lot of this has got to do with the security apparatus. I mean, this whole exercise is supposed to be under a certain order nationwide. The critical issue about this whole registration that I've had is security, and I say so because if you cannot provide adequate security for 3,500 centers, how are you going to do that for 29,000?
29,000.
That becomes a very critical issue for me. I have been around the country. I've made various observations in Pongahafu region, other places. Macho men have taken over the place. EC officers are being attacked just as opponents. You have electoral commission equipment being damaged, and so on and so forth. It's a real problem.
It is a real problem.
Yes.
Now, the other problem is also that there being low turnout. I'm not sure whether this has anything to do with arrangements that were made by the EC or lack of publicity or anything. There are also the issue of students who are in school and are unable to go to nearest registration centers to register because the school is not really their residential addresses. What are you saying about this low turnout?
Well,
is your party worried?
Well, the issue is to keep people away. And unfortunately, where the numbers have come up to, the system is designed not to be able to aid them to register as high as they could. If you go to the University of Ghana, with an estimated population of about 4,000, they have one equipment, which is doing maximum, say, 100 a day. Worst case scenario, if it's gone up, picked up 150. 4,000, how are you able to quash that within 5 days? Clearly, you are going to get people who not register. On the other hand, where you have decided to merge two electoral areas to create one center, people are having to travel the whole distance. And if they feel that they cannot cope with the difficulty in accessing these centers,
then they will stay at home instead.
They'll keep away. Yes, if you go to the rural communities, somebody has to go miles, has to spend money to take vehicles. And you know the kind of conditions people live in. So clearly they'll prefer to stay away. Then the third issue is publicity, adequate publicity.
That's right.
It's not good enough. 2-3 days to exercise where we should have heightened the discussion. We're dealing with logos and launch of some
I actually expected that. Mr. Martin, yes. I would have to just wrap up. I'm trying to get onto the other telephone lines to get the other political parties. But before you go, I mean, I know that it's a few days more for the limited registration exercise to wrap up. Do you think that there is anything that EC can do, or the NCC or other civil society groups, to whip up interest, at least in the last few days, so that we can get the numbers that your party, the various political parties, are hoping for?
Well, it looks like too late in the day, but, well, let's intensify the publicity. Now, I have heard some few jingles and announcements running on the radio. Unfortunately, they didn't start during the preparation. And so, well, a bit too late, but never give up. At this point, what we can do is just to increase public awareness. So we can also use this information bus in the various communities. Let them go and tell people this is the last opportunity. If you don't register, you cannot vote if you wish to. So people know that there is no other opportunity than now. We need to just intensify the public education.
Right, thanks very much.
We will continue to do what it is that we must do as a political party to encourage people to get out there and register and
vote. Now, there are also the concerns that have come forward from students, university students and senior high school students. I mean, a typical example is Binkum Senior High School, my alma mater, where some students were bused to a registration center to vote, but they were denied. Obviously, the reason is that these students are in school and the school is not their residence. But if they have turned 18 and they're not registered voters, where do we go from here if we deny them their ability to vote?
They are ordinarily residents there, so they should be allowed to register. And I don't think that students be barred from register, especially that voting will be taking place when school is in session. I don't think that we should punish students to ask them that they must go all the way back home to go and register. Anybody who does that is denying them that because they are ordinarily residents there.
And there are also the University of Ghana students who say that the number of centers there compared to the number of students in the university who would want to put their names on the register is too small. Is the NDC perhaps engaging the Electoral Commission on some of these concerns and perhaps making suggestions to them? Is that platform available even through the IPAC? I mean, at this wee hours when the exercise is already on?
We've been engaging with the Electoral Commission. Indeed, the number of centers have been increased in some circumstances where it became very necessary that centers have to be created in areas that the EC ignored in creating centers. So I have not been to University of Ghana yet, but if the report that is coming out is anything to go by, I believe that it makes sense to establish a center because a lot of the students there would have been turning 18 or are about 19 or 20 and could not have registered in 2014 now. So it's important to create a center, but I want to encourage the students that let's take advantage of all the 5 days. We shouldn't wait in the last minute before we do it. Most of the times you go to a center and the center is empty at certain times of the day and very busy at some time of the day, or we wait in the last minute, then you see a rush. They shouldn't wait for the last minute before they will be rushing to the centers. Let's utilize the center from day one.
Right, Ms. Adams, we're grateful. Thanks very much for joining us on TV3 News at 10. Thanks. Ms. Adams is national organizer of the NDC. He joined us on telephone there. My name is Stephen Ante here in Accra. We'll still have more news for you.